Whoa, we got a crazy stream going right now. This does not seem right. Maybe it's because this is tiny. That's a little bit better, sorta. Let me fire up my stream and see what it actually looks like. It's probably still offline, sorta. No, we're online now. I should probably mute this because this will start getting some massive feedback.
Love the
Alright,
speakers.
we can make this a little bit bigger, probably. Alright, let's see if that sets it correct. And better. I gotta move it up. Just set this all up so I wouldn't have to do this now, and then yeah, it doesn't save for some reason. Alright, I think that's good. That's good enough to start with. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is sound. I'm gonna add in some sound. So remember earlier when we made this other scene, we made the start screen, right? And it was just very basic. Like we'll put eventually we'll have the title name. Probably blow this thing out to be a lot bigger, right? And then we'll put the title name there, maybe center the start underneath. But right, once you hit start, it just brings you into the world, whatever you have it set up as. That guy is kind of in the ground a little bit. But anyways, so if we want to add sound, one of the super easy way. First off, we should probably get our sound. So I know I downloaded that a minute ago, but I don't know exactly where it is. So pull up my downloads folder, grab this. I want to drag and drop it into our assets folder for now to start with. Maybe. Okay, so here's our game sound. And it's cool because we can have it. Hey. So we can test it, I think, right here. Yeah. 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 GDC up in the house and the place to be. Just kidding, I'm not a rap. Right, so we can test it here, which is really cool. So let's actually go over attaching it, right? So one thing we're going to do is we're going to find our main camera, and we're going to need to add this component. Again, this is like, it's super easy to do this. Then you just want to put an audio source, and then you're going to drag and drop the audio clip right in the audio source. And now that, since it's attached to our camera, it'll just basically play like a 2D sound, like it'll be everywhere. And so I guess one thing we should probably do is make a new folder, call it sounds. We can take this, drag it in that folder, so on and so forth. And now when we start our game, voila, that easy, literally that easy. So yeah, so let's just listen to this for a little bit. This is done by our own Matt Kless. He is here today. Say hi.
Hello.
He created this song, this wonderful song. So epic. We are right now. Yeah. Yep. I started a little early. We'll probably end a little early too.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot that we're gonna cover today. Matt was saying he kind of wanted to see how this part right here. This is like maybe give it like, see how it goes there, like that. Like that's tight. Maybe put that in the beginning. That's my only suggestion. That's like literally the only thing I have to offer. Yeah. So Matt was saying he wanted to see how we would go about making like a house or something like that in Blender. So I'm gonna probably hop into Blender here in a second, and then we'll go over maybe just a quick little something or another there. Let's listen to the song, and then let's listen to how well it loops.
It's not gonna look well.
Yep, I think it does.
Oh, it's not
Or it's
set
not
to
going to
loop.
loop. Okay, so there's probably a setting. Loop. What do you know? All right, we gotta test this again. But one thing we can probably do is just go straight into here and play it. We can click this probably loop button. That loops alright.
I'll figure out something better.
If you're sitting and you're waiting to listen to the loop, then it's noticeable. But I think that in any like just user, any player playing this game wouldn't really notice that change, that little transition.
You can just ascend the last note up to match the first, with that very low note, and then,
Oh, like fade into it.
yeah.
That'd be good. But yeah, anyway, so that's how easy it is to add sound to your game, at least to our starting position. So let me just go in here again and we'll start it. But now when we hit start, the sound's gonna cut off, right? Yeah. But so if we wanted to have like a sound source from a specific object, we'll do that too right now. Just might as well, right? Let's hop into our practice scene and save that since we want that sound. And now let's say that just like for some reason this log over here plays that song.
Oh, yeah.
So again, right, just go to audio, add a source, and let's throw in this audio clip. And I'm trying to think here, 3D sound settings. So here we can change its distance. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to how much range that actually changes it to. I mean, okay, so right, so now we can just kind of take it, drag it, and make it however big we want to make it. Okay, so now we start this level. Okay, it's still too loud. There's too much range on it. Let's bring this down quite a bit. Let's see if we can still hear it. Oh, we still can.
Is it faded at all, or is it just goes out everywhere? No.
Well, it could be a few different things. One, it could be our audio listener here is just giant. I don't know how to edit it right now off the top of my head. I mean, that's something I'm sure we can look into. It also could be that the sound is still just playing too much. We can make it even smaller sound. No, still picks it up. All right.
Is it starting like the camera is starting with it on, or did like because you're not starting on the start menu? Is there the camera playing it or something?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't think this is two different cameras.
That's what I
Right, so
thought,
if we
but I was
go
thinking,
into
like,
the start
maybe-
menu.
Because when I don't know.
See how this camera has the audio source attached to it, but in our practice scene, it will not. There's no audio source attached to it, just an audio listener.
Okay.
But we want that audio listener. That's important.
I just saw audio on it. So.
Okay, well, I'm wondering if it's just because our camera is rendering it, and since it's in our render zone, that's why we're hearing it.
You want to try like walking further away from it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try facing the opposite way. Oh, wait, let me rotate everything, not just that. Whole player object. Now let's see if we can still hear it when we start. Yeah, we can. Does it get louder as we get closer? No.
This is somehow attached to the
Maybe it is. I'm not sure. That's something we're going to mess around with a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and spend a lot of time trying to figure out why this sound is playing everywhere, but I'm sure it's a simple fix, right? It might be something as small as just editing this audio listener. I wish that there was something I could do within this. So the audio listener is definitely picking it up, but I mean that's as it should be.
You have to write script for it, maybe, or add on to the script.
Maybe. Okay, so the song's starting over. It's 2 different songs. Well, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna get too caught up in that. Were you able to watch the stream?
I did not. I was studying.
Okay. So I just kind of give Matt a little rundown of some of the stuff we went over on Monday.
Okay.
So all I really did was I changed our. Hold on, this is gonna drive me crazy. Just the fact that our player is like in the ground right now. I'm gonna lift him up a little bit to make the collider slightly bigger.
Does that work now? Did you get that working so it doesn't fall into the ground?
Not really good, but it works better than it did previously. So I mean now we can run up a hill, which is cool.
Good. But we don't want to run on.
We don't want him to go run up forever, but at least he doesn't go through it.
Yeah.
But the problem is if it's still a steep enough hill, he'll still eventually go through it, or he'll go up it, right?
Yeah.
But there you go. So you just gotta really try hard enough, and you can get him to go through it.
We just put like invisible like barriers along steep hills. You know, like put some kind of line or something.
We could.
That acts as a collider so that you can't
We
pass it.
could.
I mean, that's a lot of
I
stuff.
think there's gotta be a better way to do it. I know that you can do one thing, and I was kind of messing around with this earlier, but I never got it really working how I wanted it to. And that's you can set a platform. Well, here's what I did. I created a platform, I put it above our character, and I had a raycast point straight down. And then I had it go down until it hit the terrain. And once it hit the terrain, I would get the terrain's angle. And so what my final idea was is that then we could take that little object and we could match its angle with the terrain angle underneath it. And then if that angle is ever like more than 45 degrees or however we want to set it, then we would just apply the same amount of movement to our character going against whatever direction he's moving at that point. And that was kind of what I was thinking. And that might be, that's just like, it's just one way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I don't know. There's probably no right way. No, there probably is a right way, but not that I'm aware of. So what else did I do on? Yeah, so I set up this a trigger collider zone. So before we were using raycasting to interact with objects. I just commented that out. Where was it? It was on our basic guy. No, it was not. Or maybe I just deleted it. I'm not sure. But I got rid of that raycast script and I replaced it with just a trigger zone. So now if something's like really low and flat on the ground or like floating in the air, instead of having just that one specific line that we're using to get everything from, now anything that's within that box will get noticed. So that works a little bit better. And finally, the last thing was I started working on our inventory, right? So if you hit I now in the game, we'll get a little, this is the only thing we have so far, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna need to attach scripts onto the interactable objects. I was thinking about doing some form of hierarchy. And then we could just, so now when we interact with this object, any of the interactable objects will also have some form of 2D image texture that's with it.
Okay.
And so when we interact with that object, it'll basically delete that object, but what we'll retain is its 2D image. and that will just go somewhere in our inventory. And we're gonna need to set up inventory slots for this, for however big we want our inventory to be. So then at that point, we're just gonna take our object that we can't interact with. We're gonna delete it, but we're gonna save its scripts, and we're gonna use its 2D, like it's a 2D representation of it, 2D little picture. And that will allow us to, and then we'll have, that'll be in our inventory, and then we can click on our inventory and drag and drop it to our crafting panel, wherever that's gonna be. Which will probably be this square next to it. That's kind of what I was thinking. And up above we can have a little drop down menu there. To drop down, we kind of choose what we wanna build.
We'll be able to drag and drop it back into the
Good question.
You just make like,
I think we should be able to.
yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah. That means that every piece that we make is going to have to have a rigid body attached to it, though, because it's going to need to have physics.
You just like make it like when you put in your panel, make the body like invisible and not anywhere. Like it exists, but not in the world.
But just, you mean like,
I don't know if that's possible.
I think I know what you're saying. You mean like
Yeah.
this plank, and then we'll just disable it?
I guess so. Yeah.
So it still exists.
Yeah, but it's not like in anywhere. It's just there, attached to the picture.
Could probably do that. We might run into some problems though. But
Or
we're gonna need a pretty dynamic script for it. So it's gonna be really its own thing altogether. But how we deal with that interaction, that's still kind of up in the air. I think that we could do that, and then the script could just say once it's been interacted with, it just gets disabled, turns into a 2D, and then once you interact with that 2D, you can either bring it back into 3D or attach it. I don't know, that's some stuff we can just kind of toy around with
yeah.
when we get there. By all means, though, if you guys have some time this week and you're just kind of toying around with it, and you're like, hey, I feel like doing a little scripting, like, totally be my guest. Like, that would be great if you guys wanted to kind of dive into it a little bit. So, let's hop in Blender. Sound good?
Sure. Oh,
Okay.
Question on this though. To make the guy jump, did you make the ground a collider? Because I was messing around with playing with an island, and I dragged and dropped the player in, but I couldn't make him jump. Like he could run, he can sprint and everything, but he can't jump.
It's not a collider, but it is called ground.
Oh, you have to call it ground.
You have to name the terrain ground.
I haven't done that.
Or you could tag it, and then you could access by tag. Here, I'll pull up the character controller script real quick, and kind of go over what's going on there. Okay, so here we are. It's on I think collision stay. Okay. So when we collide with this, when we have some form of collision with this object C, if that object is named ground, then that's going to turn grounded to true. And then once grounded is true, that allows the jump. We can't jump if grounded is false.
Okay.
And by default, it'll be false. So just make sure that you're naming your terrain ground,
Yeah,
and
I
then
can do that.
that should fix it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And I mean, if you have any questions, like, feel free to send me an email at any time, or like, a message wherever. Like, I'm pretty available.
Okay. I figured I just asked right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, that also works pretty well too.
Mhm. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So let's hop back in here. All right. I'm gonna pull up Blender. I mean, any other questions? Anything at all before we hop into this and we start working on building some form of house or structure or something like that? Okay. Let me see if I can get screencast keys. I don't know if I have it on this. I don't think I do. Okay. Alright. Never mind then. Just gonna collapse this down. So we want to look at building some form of house, right? Okay. So this is sort of what I would do. Oops, I wouldn't do that. I would just grab our box. I would move it to the side. I would flatten it a little bit. And we'll make this like our back wall, right? So we're gonna make it a little bit wider, a little bit taller. I'm gonna hide our camera and our lamp for the moment. Lamp hidden, camera hidden. I can't see it. And now, so what I do here is then you're gonna wanna go into the edit mode, hit tab to go into edit mode, Control R for a loop cut. And then wanna place that and then bring it to one or two of the edges. So let's bring it about maybe here. Let's do the same for the other side. Yeah, maybe about there. I know it's probably not perfectly even. One thing we could also do is we could use magnets to snap so we can make sure that it's even, but for the sake of just what I'm doing right now, I'm not going to worry too much about how perfectly symmetrical it is and everything. Alright, now this is the keybind I always can never remember. I'm going to extrude the individual, which is right here. It's keybound. Maybe it's not keybound. I guess it's not. Okay, so we're going to click the extrude. We're going to bring this out. About there. Do the same thing to this side. And actually, you know what we should do? Probably be smarter, doing both at the same time. Extrude both of these walls. Now let's go put a loop cut here. And let's do the same thing, kind of bring it forward. Same thing on this side. Grab it, go to face mode, grab the side, do a loop cut, bring it forward. This is probably where it matters more to have these lined up and matching, but again, I don't really care. So now let's grab these two walls and let's extrude them individually. And let's go into the scale mode and bring them together. Maybe about there. Yeah, that's like that could be our door. But since this house is really tall, one thing I would recommend doing is we can grab all these top faces. That was what I wanted.
Here's face mode. Yeah.
Grab all these birds up top. Just move down a little bit. And okay, so what kind of features should this place have? Should we put should we give it a triangle roof? We can bring this up. And we could put same sort of idea here. If I grab this and this, we can extrude just a little bit. Actually, on that same note, yeah, we're gonna extrude just a little bit up. About the same height. Now we're going to take these back verts here. We'll do one at a time. Go forward, and we're going to merge it at last. Alt M to merge at last. Same with this side. Alt M, merge at last. So now we're going to have matching triangles. Now, also I'm going to do too is I'm going to combine this wall here and this wall here. Last. Okay. Sound like I'm singing that James song over here. Let's grab these faces. And let's fill F. No, come on. Ah. It's been a while.
Drag them together like you did with the walls?
Sort of, but we kind of want it. I don't think we want to merge. Maybe. Well, let's just try merging at center. No, we definitely don't want to do that. So, the thing about Blender is, I was telling this to Matt earlier, is I wrote this little diagram on the board. So, if you make a box, the way Blender knows what a wall is if you have a box, right? If it only knows that it only can recognize the outsides as actually being walls, right? If there's a wall that points to another wall from the inside, then if you put any object in here and you look outward, you won't see a wall here. It'll just look straight through it. So when you're making things in Blender, you have to be kind of careful with that. I mean, that's why we couldn't just do like a giant square, right? And then start cutting things out of that square, because then when we walked inside this house, we would see nothing from the inside. And I mean, there's probably ways around that. I'm sure there's different rendering techniques that people can do. But as far as I know, I think that's the only way to really create it. Like if you kind of pop yourself inside of it, you know, like this wall's gone. This wall on the inside wouldn't be rendered either. It's sort of weird. Blender's kind of weird like that. So what are we gonna do here? We're gonna combine these two faces, or maybe just grab these verts here. I'm trying to remember all these keybinds. This is gonna be a little difficult. Okay, now we can go into our verts. We don't want to rip fill, we just want to fill. I know I remember how to do this somewhere. Oh, there it was, I think. Going on up, fill. Bam, just like that. Okay, so that kind of sort of gives us what we want. But let's take that. Let's actually do it the other way. Let's grab these two. This is kind of what you're thinking, right? Grab the two verts and then combine them that way.
I guess so, yeah.
And
I was
we
thinking
can-
how you dragged, when you put those walls together to make the door, you just extruded them. I guess extruded them, right, so never mind.
I'm going to delete these faces as well, though, so we don't have extra faces. Now I'm going to set these. I'm going to merge them at the center. And now I can. These angles aren't the same though, which is weird because they probably should be, or maybe they are. Maybe I'm just looking at it in a weird perspective. Oh, how do I change perspectives?
Press spacebar, you can see.
No, I need. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess I can see my ortho that way, right? Sort of. And now I put on a subdivision modifier. I gotta take that off real quick. Delete that. There we go, Control 7. Maybe there was a weird keybind for it. Okay, so now what we can do is we just point. I guess it's these 2 points though. Line that up there. And let's just bring it up. Maybe over a little bit. And our roof should have pretty similar angles to it, to where we can actually build some form of roof over the top of it now. I cut out these faces, and I guess I'm going to probably just put them back in. Or I guess one thing we could do is go edge select, grab all that like so. Is it Alt F? Yeah, Alt F, and just fill it in. And I guess it's kind of hard to see, but you know, that's sort of like the makings of a house. You know, you can walk around inside that if you want. This face looks really weird though. This face I just filled. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know why it looks a different color. I think that it's got some issues going on there.
You just delete the edges because it's connected, or there's edges in between, or cutting through it, you know, when you filled it. So you can just delete those edges and we'll make one big face. You know what I mean?
What was that?
Because when you filled it, those edges were still there. So
Oh, you're saying,
that are in that create the triangle.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
So maybe you'll read it then as one big face.
Delete these edges maybe. Let's see what this does if I try to fill that. Cool. That's more or less what we wanted. Go into face mode, make sure that we don't have like, wow, faces are still a little messed up here. Oh, I know why. Okay, so let's go back. Let's grab just this wall and this wall, and let's fill that. Same with here, fill that, same with here. And now if we do it, it should be the way we want it, because now I don't have these extra weird faces, right? Everything's faced up pretty good. I guess actually this face can probably go away. I don't know why we would need it. Oh, because there's no vertices here for it to connect to. So we actually do need it the other way. Where we had it, maybe. Which was not gonna let us go back far enough to change that. Okay, well, looks like we gotta do it all over again. That kinda sucks. Oh, I shouldn't delete vertices. That was taking away too much. Just go into face mode. I'm gonna delete these top two faces and we're gonna start over on that part. Okay, now we go face mode. Just gonna be there. Looks good. Extrude these two out individually. Now let's just take this from here and then we'll fill it. No, maybe it doesn't want me to fill it. That's weird. It's because we're not in line mode, maybe?
Those faces, that are facing each other, will that make it work?
Oh, maybe. And then just use just the outlines of it.
Yeah.
I think that you're onto something there. Nope. But maybe. Guess we can just do one at a time. Okay, so now I got that little thing going on. Now let's take all of these top faces here. We're just going to move this up to make it even with our other piece. Just going to collapse these edges in.
See, like you don't need those extra lines, do you? The extra extra edges?
I mean these two?
Yeah.
I think I do, because I think that has to connect to this vert right here. Because if nothing is connected to this vertex, and that's how we get that really weird, like that kind of incorrect looking face. It's like a sort of darker color. What we can do is we can just take these faces or these verts here, and we can merge them. You know, like we were doing earlier.
And then merge those
Yep.
together.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Now I have these 2 points. They're going to be pretty much the same height. And now we have, well, maybe it's a church. I don't know. But then we can start building our roof out of that, right? So we can just take, well, really any of these pieces, and then just extrude them and start working them upward. But let's just grab these 2, or these 3 for now. Extrude them. Make a roof. And we're also kind of dealing with the same problem though here, right? Because we have this face and this face. So we're going to need to merge these faces together. That's easy. What we can do is we can just actually just delete these faces, each of these faces. And then do the same thing we were doing earlier, right? We just grab these verts, go ahead and combine them with each other. Grab this one and this one, merge at last. That one, merge at last. Oh, wait a second. Looks like these 2 aren't connected.
We just combine them.
Yeah, I can just select both of them and then merge at center. Merge at last. Nope. Okay, whatever. It's gonna make me do this the hard way. Merge at last. Now we can a little more structure. That makes me wonder. I wonder if this is not connected to then. All right. Oh, I guess we probably. This probably also isn't connected too. Oh yeah, of course it's not because we extruded. All right, we gotta go back. Sorry guys. Gotta go all the way back.
Can you just
All
connect
this.
those 2 now?
What's that?
Can you just connect those 2 right now?
No, I had to delete everything I did because we didn't want to extrude it as an individual. We wanted to extrude it as a region. Because right now it's saying that this centerpiece is a different object altogether than the side piece.
Yeah.
We want that all to be one. So that's the easy fix though, right? We can delete. We just gotta delete all these faces. So much for having a short meeting today.
I've got no else to beat before.
Okay. That's sort of kind of what we want, but now I got to do a little fixing here. Alright, so I gotta grab here, here, and I gotta make this new face there. Got these 2, making a face there, and a new face over here. Now, when we go to face mode, we can grab all 3 of these, and when we go to extrude, instead of extruding an individual, we want to extrude region. And that's the one that has an actual keybind. See now, see how we don't have another little square here? It's because they're all together and they're all one. But, I mean, that's still, we're going to have to do sort of how what we were doing earlier, right? So we're going to delete the face. Delete the face, delete the face, face, a lot of faces, gotta delete them all. Now that's all lined up, bring it a little closer. Let's go into vert mode. Get a little closer look at this. Up close and personal here. Move back just a little bit, down just a little bit. first. Dev last. Oh, do I not delete that face? I don't think I did. I'm in see-through mode, and then I can see if I deleted it or not. Oh, did I? Okay. I guess that there's not a face there. Okay, cool. The last one, and at the last one. Right, so now we have half of a roof there. Something we're gonna probably want to change also a little bit is we're gonna grab these guys, these little extroverts, maybe bring them down like that. Oh, it kind of looks like a barn. It's a church, it's a barn, it's a, who knows. All right. So same thing. Now let's do it to this side. We could probably do, one thing we probably could have done from the start also, and maybe I could do right now, let's see, is cut this guy in half. Can we cut this triangle in half? I don't think I can. But if I could. Okay, so we should have done it from the start, but only do half of it, and then do a mirror modifier, right? So then all of this doubling that we're doing across the board here, we don't have to do it once, right? And we like efficiency. Okay, so let's extrude this region. Let's bring it up. Cut out these faces. We're also getting, I don't know, I think we want to leave that because that's our wall. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Cut that face out on this side. Bring it down just a little bit, bring it over. Bada bing, bada boom. Put the vert mode. I should start attaching these verts. These guys, which we can do sort of the same thing with. We can move down, over, up. We could maybe give it like a cool structure. I don't know, whatever. All right, so I mean that's kind of a basic house. Sort of a house, maybe. We could add a. Sometimes we subdivide it. Now it's like a circle house. Looks like a bouncy house. That's cool. I want to live in there. Okay, so now let's just take it, right? And we got kind of a weird dip here in the middle. Make it a little taller. Still have that weird looking dip. I don't know why it's doing that.
Versus that are connected, maybe it's very weird.
Could be. Looks like that might be the case. No? Oh, yeah. We got some. I think these guys who are just kind of floating. Right? It's not connected to anything this way. That could maybe be causing it.
It's old.
Alright, bear with me, this might be a huge mistake. think it needs just that little bit of buffer room, like kind of what I did just there. I think that might help us out a little bit. I just don't want that song playing all the time. We
Good
should.
background noise. Just play it throughout life.
Alright, now what happens when we do this? I mean, not saying that we should necessarily. Oh, yeah, see? It's just because I think some verts are attached in weird places. Specifically here. And now when we texture this, it's probably going to get all messed up.
Well, like, because you have, like, is there a vert underneath? Because you got 2 layers, basically, right? There's that top layer, and then there's the one below it. Is there a vert that's not connected? Like, yeah, there.
Yeah, this needs to be below, but we'd have to do some major construction to fix that. I attached it to the wrong, I definitely did just attach it to the wrong vert there. So, I mean, realistically, I would start over at this point, and I would just make a new house from scratch. I mean, I put maybe like 15 minutes into it, so it's not like it's a huge loss. But now let's just save this. Just save it for now. I mean, I know it's not great. Just call it, let's call it house. Let's put it in. Let's go. Let's throw it right into development, practice projects, assets, meshes. Now we hop into Unity, and we go to our meshes folder, it'll probably be in there. Okay, so here's our house. It's really tiny though. That's okay. We can make it big. Alright, now maybe we'll just put this like over here or something. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit the train a little bit so it actually fits, but maybe we'll just make it into the ground a little bit. And then let's find our blueprint. Oh, cool. It's already in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Now I should be able to, yeah! I should be able to walk into our house and see our blueprint on the ground there. Oh, but there's no colliders, so our raycast is not getting stuck on. We can also probably walk right through it. But what we can probably do is grab this guy and add a collider, add a mesh collider. I'm interested to see if this actually works. So I'm going to move our character a little closer. Oh, but see, our camera works. That's good. But our character is not running into it, probably because... Well, I don't think it has to do with the tag. It's probably due to the fact that when we're in the game, we're telling our character to move. We're just telling him to go forward by, you know, one vector in whatever direction he's going in, or, you know, however many vectors in that direction. So he goes into that wall, and he's not really, there's nothing that's like, there's no way he's actually really running into the wall. You see what I'm saying? Let me explain this a little bit on the board. So, when we're using transform.translate, that's just moving him forward, right? I mean, so he's here, transform.translate brings him here, versus if we were to change it, we were to use something like physics dot, and we were versus if we were to use something like a force movement system, which would put him here, and then that would push him along to here, and then continue pushing him along to here. When we're using transform.translate, this in-between area is never happening. It's just going this vector to this vector to this vector, but he's moving such a small amount that it's not really noticeable to us. But when he comes into, like, if there's a wall here, and we transform.translate, we're just going to transform.translate on the other side of it without even really realizing it. Versus if there's force, right, he's going to get pushed into this wall, and that's how he's going to end up hitting that collider. I mean, that's sort of the same problem we're having with the train also, is that he's just jumping through the train, right? He's not actually really hitting it. So that's just, some food for thought there.
Do you want to change it to the other way, or is there something negative about using the other way that you're talking about?
By adding force instead of using
Yeah.
it with vectors?
Yeah,
No, I can
not
show you
that
that.
instead.
We can maybe jump into that real quick. That shouldn't be too bad. So instead of here, GameObject.transform here, I'll switch the stream too. So right here, instead of having GameObject.transform.translate, new vector 3, 0, blah, 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 we're going to change that to be GameObject.rigidBody. No. Why can't I access this rigid? This is why. Documentation changed a little bit for dealing with rigid bodies. So we're going to call getComponent rigidBody.add force, new vector 3, 0, 0. We'll just say 1 for now and see how that changes things. Comment out that line. We're probably going to need to change these variables a little bit. Now we'll move around. I might need to bump these ones up to like 10s or something. Oh, it's because diagonals are still different. Are still the way they were before, but okay, that's okay. Maybe it's because our rigid body, we might have a lot of weight or drag. Oh, because we're freezing positions. I think that's probably why. Still not really moving. But let's bump this up. Let's bump this up to like 20. Now maybe he's gonna go skyrocketing off the screen. I mean, that's the challenge we gotta take, right? It's all relevant to our character's size, and we don't really know our character's size. Not really, but.
So is that number that's now pushing weight against him, pushing force against him? I mean.
Yeah. But it's also basing its direction off forward. Okay. I'm wondering why it's moving him right. It's not based off of the direction he's facing. It's based off the rigid body, and the rigid body, I don't think, is ever changing its rotation. Rigid body's rotation is fixed. because the only thing that's actually changing rotation is our mesh here, our basic guy. What we might be able to do is say, maybe we can say mesh dot transform dot forward. This is kind of a shot in the dark here. Okay, so let's actually, well, maybe it's working. It might just be the hill.
Looks like you're still on it right now on the stream.
Here, we'll times it this morning. Give him some good movement. Oh yeah, we're still on. Okay. Okay, so that sort of works. Sorta. Has a really hard time going up hills. Come on, dude! The real question though is, will he now go through this collider? He might still. I'm not too familiar with mesh colliders. Okay, he doesn't. So that's right, unless you go diagonal. No, even diagonal he's not able to go through. That's weird. I wonder what changed. Now the question is, if we go back, I'm going to comment this out. I'm going to comment out all these. And then I'm going to uncomment these. It's really going to throw me off now if this works and he actually runs into this wall properly like he should.
You're still on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'll change it in a second. Not saving or something? What? That's weird. Well, your guys' guess is as good as mine, ultimately. I mean, so he changed that, and yet he still runs into stuff. I mean, personally, I like this a little bit better. I like having snappy movement, because when you're using force, he'll move along, and then once you stop moving, he'll still kind of slide a little bit, because it's adding force, right? It has acceleration and deceleration. The teleporting system is a little bit nicer, because it's just that, it can just teleport. And it's just, I move this far and I stop as far as I'm going. Well, that's cool. The only thing I can think of is somehow this wasn't being accredited for originally, maybe? See, I hate this. You get little bugs like this, and then you're like, okay, well, we get it working, and then you export it to someone else's machine, and it's completely broken at that point. It's like, what's going on? But, I mean, hey. If it works, why fix it? Right. Something like that.
Maybe just before it wasn't recognizing you as a collider or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is that maybe it hadn't taken the time to realize it.
Because before he was running into trees and stuff just fine, Like when we put the trees, we put the collider on him.
Mm-hmm.
We run into those.
Alright, so I'm going to take the collider off and see if he goes through it. I should. Okay. That was really going to throw me off if it didn't work that time. Now let's turn it back on. Let's test it one more time. Alright, well, maybe I didn't save the scene or something. It could be, who knows? It could be a million different reasons. But either way, okay, that's cool. I mean, yeah, so now we have a little house. This isn't really, I don't think, a very good one. But one thing you can do, right, is we can hop back into Blender. And let's say we wanted to, Blender on here. Let's say we wanted to add in a window. Go through, we can maybe put some birds there. These are going to be a little sloppy, but that's okay. And then we get the square, and we're just gonna wanna put that sort of centered. We also want it to be see-through, so we're gonna want to grab both of the verts. Yeah, let's just give this little basic house a window.
Oh, you're still on mono.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oops.
Unless the screen's moving.
No, I'm not. It just hasn't updated yet.
Okay. Oh, we're offline, that's right.
Oh, what? Did I stop?
Yes.
No? Ugh. Twitch. Killing me right now. Alright, well, you guys will see what's going on. This is probably the last thing I'll do today. Now I can grab these faces and then just delete them. Just like we've been doing. Grab these edges. Just grab like these edges. Fill it. Alright, now we have a little window, sort of messed up a little bit, but I mean, yeah, we can really set it however we want it, right? If we wanted to kind of give it a little more definition, we can. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of just messing around with the dynamics of it. Alright, or we could give it ground, the whole thing up. We could just grab all the bottom, and we can extrude it as a region. Extrude this down. And then we can just start, oops, grab this last one. Oh, there's something weird going on here. Try that again. Actually, take that back. That's probably not the best way we can do ground. All we can do is just grab just this face and this face. And we can extrude these guys down. And we can extrude this one out all the way across, and we'll just combine it, right? I guess we will ultimately want to extrude those down, but now I actually have a ground for our character to walk on, which is kind of cool. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. At least for this basic model, it makes really no difference. Right, okay, so there's our basic house in Blender. That's, got all these extra lines. Don't worry about it so much, right? I mean, because the only thing that really matters is the finished, how it looks outside of. I mean, I got all these extra lines here that look really bad, but that's no one will ever see that. I always like to add the subdivision surface just to kind of see what it would look like.
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
It's got an eyeball.
Yeah, the ground gets really messed up. That's because nothing's joined. I mean, if I would have joined these verts here, it might be a little bit different. Wherever our ground is going out to, where it can connect. Yeah, so that's that. You guys have any questions? You thinking, oh, pretty low key meeting day. Not a whole lot of people here. I know it's finals week and everything. People are gone and whatnot.
Are we meeting over the brick?
I might be in California,
Oh, okay, so.
so
So
probably
we'll
not.
meet you there. No.
Yeah, so meet me there. No,
Yeah.
I might be in California. I might. I was talking to a friend of mine. I might be getting a tour of Blizzard. That'd be pretty cool. I'm also going to go take a tour of SpaceX, which is going to be pretty cool. And I'm going to go to Universal Studios.
Cool.
Yeah. So probably want to have a meeting over the break. If any of you guys want to host one, by all means.
No.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would do. No.
Maybe Art want to host. I mean, I know that he's got a decent amount of experience and he does a lot of live streaming.
Mhm.
Maybe if he's even still alive. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen that guy in forever.
I can just take a break.
Yeah, or we can just take a break. You know, I mean, by all means, like, don't. We're not gonna like. I mean, our meetings aren't required or anything, so you know. But I mean, definitely just try to get some work on some stuff though for the
Yeah.
game. Try to make like maybe work on like 3D models or terrain or something. Or like I said, if you want to take a crack at the crafting system and you guys want to sit down and start hacking out some code, you know, that's cool too.
Mhm.
Whatever you guys want to do, that's I'm always up for getting things added.
You want to see some islands made? I'm kind of halfway through one island.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So, what do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Sure. It's
Yeah.
like
Show me how.
active Unity.
Oh, okay. Wait on, it's booted.
Okay. But when do we want to start stitching together, you know, islands and whatnot?
As soon as possible. I mean,
Yeah.
I would have grabbed that and I would have put it in today.
Cool.
If we.
It's
but,
still, I don't know. It's the one with the glider island. Here's-
Okay. I mean, the practice island we have isn't really real island. That was just a practice to kind of get the concepts out there.
Mhm. It's got that big cliff you walk up the thing.
Oh, cool.
And I wasn't sure what else to put around here.
Looks good though.
So, yeah, I was adding trees. But, I don't know. I was just doing that today and yesterday. But
I like that though. That's exactly the kind of glider island we'll need.
mm-hmm.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, so trying to think. Realistically, when are we back? 30th? It's Monday. We'll definitely have a meeting on the 30th.
Okay. Same times? Or will you just send out a note? So I think I can do.
Do you guys have classes on Mondays next quarter?
I have
Okay.
classes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Me too.
I will as well.
Um,
Let's plan to meet here, same room, same time, 12:30 to 1:15,
Yeah.
and we'll see. I mean, I'll look around. I'll try to get us a class that doesn't have. I'll try to get us a classroom that doesn't have a class that comes in at 1:30,
okay.
because I know it kind of sucks when we get kicked out of here, and it happens far too often.
Yeah.
But for now, let's just plan on that. If it changes, I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Let's just plan to meet here on the 30th. It's 12 days from now.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys got any plans for spring break?
Sleep in.
Chilling?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Best kind of plans. All right.
Oh, have you had trouble with Unity Editor? Because every time I boot up Unity, it works fine until I try to exit and it says like the editor has stopped working. Yeah, see. I just try to exit and it tells me this. So, and all the time when I'm running it, it's like loading stuff down here. I wasn't sure if you're having the same issue.
Are you using Unity 5?
This is 5. So,
It does exit out though once you do that?
It does exit, and it works fine. Like, I've been able to work in it at everything and stuff. It's just like whenever I run it.
It's probably trying to load assets. What are all these assets?
That was just
That was just part of it?
it was just part of here. Yeah, it was right here.
Probably the standard.
Yeah, it was the trees. So, and then it always like locks up on this. I mean, like I said, it works fine. It runs, saves all my progress. So I
Can
don't know.
you hit play and actually run it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this trail. That's good.
The trees are really good.
Little mini trees.
I know. But yeah, see, it works fine. Everything works. So I don't know. I just didn't know if we had.
I've never seen that, but I'm sure
Yeah.
people in the world have at some
I should
point.
Google it, yeah.
I'm sure you're not the first person to ever have this sort of problem.
No. I wonder, did you uninstall Unity 4?
Mhm.
I didn't do that.
Did you install over it?
I think so.
Maybe that's why. I installed just a new folder altogether, so.
I just said like update to newer version or whatever. No.
Yeah, on both my laptop and my desktop. I have another laptop. Maybe I'll try testing that out on.
Okay.
Because on both my laptop, or both this laptop and my desktop at home, I just went to the website and downloaded straight from there, and I just put it in a new file together.
Yeah, I went to the website too. It was, I don't know. I'll look for it online.
All right.
We'll see.
All right. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us today. We're going to wrap it up here. Once again, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, all that fun jazz. And, yeah, okay. See you guys later.